Right, good evening. Welcome to the executive meeting at East Herts Council on the 26th of March. I think it's the last meeting of this. I was going to say school year, but it's not a school year, civic year. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and we haven't got a lot on the agenda tonight. Let's start with apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies? No. Thank you. Leaders' announcements, item 2, just simply to remind everyone, as usual, to speak into the microphones with the red button on, so everyone else can hear. Item 3, minutes from the 13th of February 2024, pages 5 to 23 of the agenda pack. So any comments, questions? No? Miney.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that we accept these minutes.
Thank you very much. A seconder? Carl? Thank you very much. And all those in favour? Thank you. Anyone against? And anyone abstaining? No. Oh, abstention from Chris. Okay, thank you very much. That's passed. Right, item 4, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Okay, thank you. Item 5 tonight is the financial management 2023-24 Q3 forecast to year end, which is on pages 24 to 31 of the agenda pack. And I'm going to hand over to Councillor Carl Britton, financial sustainability member.
Thank you, Leader. This report is the forecast financial outturn at the end of Q3. The headlines are a forecast overspend in the revenue account of £220,000 and a forecast underspend of the capital budget of £4.1 million. The forecast revenue overspend detailed in enclosure 1 is significantly lower than the £491,000 forecast in Q2, and most of this change can be attributed to the use of reserves. We've used £74,000 of planning reserves to offset the overspend in that area, whilst a further £179,000 of the reserves from the MTFP transition funding account have been used to fund off one-off restructuring costs. In the case of the latter, the reserves are being used for exactly the purpose intended, so we should not consider this to be an unexpected cost. The significant variances are detailed in enclosure 2. Of particular note are the £197,000 extra cost against the salary budget due to the agreed settlement being higher than forecast. There is also a forecast £454,000 overspend in planning due to the reduced planning applications and also the use of external consultants due to ongoing recruitment difficulties. There is also a £327,000 overspend due to ongoing costs of Charrington's House. In the capital programme, the £4.1 million forecast underspend is detailed in enclosure 3. The biggest variance is the £2 million due to the pausing of the Old River Lane project. A further £1.3 million variance has been forecast on IT projects. Neither of these variances have been rolled forward into next year. There is forecast to be a further £807,000 of underspend on a number of smaller projects, which are detailed, and these will be rolled forward to next year. I propose we note this report, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks very much. Are you happy to propose?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Vicky, thank you. Yes, questions? Chris.
Yeah, I wondered if you could comment on the current state of our reserves, given that we have used some of them, and historically we're lower than a lot of councillors in a similar position.
Yes, we do have lower reserves than a lot of similar councils, but our total reserves, I think, are 20 million, so around about that number. I don't know the exact number. Stephen might be able to furnish the exact number. So I don't think our reserves are critical, although many of those reserves are kind of allocated to particular types of reserve. I think our general reserves are about 4 million. Again, it's we're not in a crisis.
Any other comments? Stan, you okay? Anything else? I had a couple of questions. The rephasing of IT capital spend. What can you say anything about that? What's the sort of the idea there? Is it just pushing the spend later?
That's not been that's come out completely.
Oh,
It's
that's
not, that's
been
not
removed.
been rolled forward. Yeah. So
Okay,
I think this
that's
is
been-
there's capital spend that's been put in there
Mm.
that's basically not happened.
Okay,
It's
so
not
it's
been
gone.
rolled forward.
okay. And have the police dogs gone into Charrington's house? Is the other question. Do we know?
And Stephen, would you like to answer that?
We have received requests from the Metropolitan Police to use it for dog training. They haven't gone in as yet, as we want to cap off services and that before we
Okay,
do.
thank you. Right, if there are no other questions, recommendations for executive, there are 3 recommendations on page 24 of the agenda pack. We'll take them all together, if that's okay. Can we have a show of hands for all in favour, please? Thank you. And anyone against? No, and no abstentions. Thank you, that's passed. Right, item 6 is the Ward Freeman pool update on pages 32 to 36 of the agenda pack, and I'm going to hand over to Councillor Sarah Hopewell.
Thank you, Leader. So there has been a slight update since this report was updated, but just to speak to the report, basically, the Department for Education funding, Hertfordshire County Council found out that that was ending at the end of the next academic year. So essentially that meant that Hertfordshire County Council, who owns the building, weren't in a position to offer any sort of ongoing support. But they did provisionally agree in principle for a community group to take on the facility pending a viable business plan. A group has formed and they've submitted an application to the Charity Commission. That was submitted on the 15th of March. They are on track to get the business plan in for Thursday, although I would stress at this point it's not going to be a complete business plan because we don't have all the costings for the actual repairs. So the pool started to be drained at the end of January. It was due to take about 3 weeks, but for various reasons it took more like 6 weeks, which isn't a bad thing because the slower you drain it, you're kind of reducing some of the risks associated with draining. So that finished at the end of February. So a condition survey has been requested just so we can identify what the actual issues are with the pool tank and what the associated costs are with that. And also just a bit of an update from the survey that we were provided with last March. That survey hasn't happened yet, so the group can't fully cost in what the repairs will be. So they've got sort of estimates from various places, and the bulk of the plan is looking at ongoing revenue and financial sustainability into the future. We're assuming it's probably going to be at least £700,000 to get it fixed. So the main grant pots for that would be the Community Ownership Fund. At the point of this report, the information on the government website was that this fund would be, there'd be around quarterly funds until March 2025. Because of the delay to the draining and not getting the condition survey, just not having all the information, basically, this report recommends a 6-month delay on a final decision, just so we can make sure we've got every information that we need. On Saturday just gone, the Community Ownership Fund website was updated and they've actually brought forward the deadline. So the final funding bidding window is going to be the end of May, which puts quite a bit of time pressure on things. But, you know, the group has been fantastic and they've worked so hard on this, and it would be great if as a council we can do absolutely everything humanly possible to make sure that at our end we've, you know, got all the information that's needed for that application. So, I mean, this is all obviously assuming that HCC is happy with the business plan and that the EHDC is happy with the business plan. So yes, I mean, the report's recommending a 6-month delay. I mean, probably it will be less than that. I mean, if we apply in May, assuming everything's in place, an outcome will be available by July. And if it's not successful, I don't see another pot of money being available to cover that cost, really. So an outcome will be known within 6 months, I would say. So I recommend this report.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, it's certainly not for lack of trying, whatever happens. But sorry, can I have a seconder, please, for that? Thank you very much. Questions? Questions? Yeah, Vicky.
You said that you needed the condition survey so that you can get the exact costs. Is there a way, do you know how long it will take, and is there a way of assuring ourselves that you can get that before May?
Thank you. I mean, the answer to that is no, but I mean, I have been asking. So, I mean, ideally, if we can get a date in the diary within the next couple of weeks to have that report by May, that'd be really great.
Thanks. Stan, good question.
Yes, I admire the group for the hard work they've done, but I think we'll all agree this is going to be a long, drawn out sort of thing. I was just hoping tonight that he was going to come out with some terrific sum, that someone's come out the woodwork to, you know, lay it down and write a big check out. No one any more than me, because I used to swim regular every morning up until I was about 75. It was quite easy for me to walk across a recreation ground about 6:30. And perhaps that's why I'm still living there, because it kept me fit. So apart from that, all my grandchildren went there. My daughter worked there. And I do admire you, but it's not going to be easy. I'm just hoping that, you know, someone's, you know, like someone Sport England is going to come out with something quite decent. But yeah, no, I do admire people. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Stan. Do you want to respond?
Yeah, no, thanks, Stan. That's really useful information, actually. And so the Community Ownership Fund offers up to, I mean, they're not going to give £2 million for the pool, but the pot is for up to. And one thing that gives me slight hope on that pot is that they want to spend it all down by the end of the 4 years. So this is year 4, and out of 150 million, they've spent 71 million. So there's still 79 million to go. So, and we spoke to a pool in Gateshead just on Monday, actually, and they applied in the last funding round and were successful. So that gives me hope as well. But one of the key things for the Community Ownership Fund is being able to demonstrate that there's a wide community interest, especially for a larger grant. So actually, it'd be great if I could come to you when we're putting in the application and just get your evidence of how you've used it, and you know, you're a well-known member of the community, and just having that as another supporting letter would be really great, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Alex, go on.
Can I ask, Councillor Hopewell, is the Buntingford Town Council behind the plans as well? They're going to be supportive?
So we met with them in January. At that point, it wasn't quite clear what the situation was between Hertfordshire County Council and East Herts District Council. The clerk is on, so we've got a monthly mailing list. So the clerk is included in that, and there's another town councillor that's included in that as well. So they've been receiving the regular updates. So when we met in January, I mean, you know, the group were verbally supportive and keen to see it come into action. I think at that point, things were a lot more vague than they are now, let's say. So, you know, we weren't quite sure what the situation was with the Department for Education funding or with councils, or whether the pool sides would collapse. And the community group hadn't really formed at that point. We're so much further on now. So I imagine that the group would be looking to approach them again, certainly for a letter of support, at least for the pool. And if they would like to contribute to the Community Ownership Fund application, that would be a great help as well. So.
Right. Thank you. No other questions? Okay, so the recommendations for this item are detailed on page 32 of the agenda pack. There's just one recommendation. Can we take a show of hands to indicate whether we support or not? Yep, fantastic. Thank you very much. That's it. Any urgent business? Okay, well, at 19:14, I declare the meeting finished.